What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with my Week 10 NFL Power Rankings. As you can see here, the biggest movers, Jets, after a huge win last Thursday against the Texans, move up 7 spots, while the Broncos get dismantled against the Ravens and they're moving down 6. But we'll start with 32 to 29. And teams you expect to be here, Panthers for sure, even after a win, they're moving up 2. But, it's the Panthers still. Raiders can't seem to figure it out. Dolphins surprisingly just keep on losing close games now with Tua back. They've lost their last 2. And then the Saints blowing it up, traded Marshawn Lattimore, fired their head coach, got rid of some coordinators. This team is looking forward to next year. That's for sure the Saints, as they've lost 7 straight. 28 through 25. Titans finally get a win in OT against the Patriots in a very interesting game. It should say 27-20. The Patriots one's correct there. Shouldn't even have went to overtime, but Drake May extended the play, made an awesome play to send it to OT. But it was a good game for both lower end teams to play a competitive football game towards the end. Giants hung around against the Commanders, but just couldn't do enough to get by. Then the Browns, I think, might have had a 1 week performance against the Ravens, and they were, had a chance to possibly get back in this race, maybe get to 3-6, and you never know. But lost at home to the Chargers. I think the Browns are just going to stay Browning. 21 through 24, you get the Jets, Colts, Cowboys, Jaguars. Jets are the only team that moved up here 5 spots. It's not surprising here. It should say 5 at the beginning, not 7, by the way. The Colts staying put after their loss to the Vikings. Didn't do too much, but I don't really see them falling down anymore. Cowboys, I do, obviously losing Dak, but they did trade for Jonathan Mingo. They did get a receiver because who knows with CD. And the Cowboys, I think it might be time to pack it up. They got the Eagles and Texans here the next few weeks. They could be 3-7. Maybe Dak gets put on IR, and this team could finish 5-12 when it's all said and done here. And I don't think people are going to think that at this point in the season, but McCarthy's probably going to get fired sometime soon. Doug Peterson, surprised he hasn't got fired yet, as they just haven't been playing some good football here. The Jaguars at 2-7. 17 through 20 teams I think that could be in any of these spots. Broncos fall after their huge loss to the Ravens in Baltimore. And what do you get in reward? A visit to Kansas City. So the Broncos really got to figure it out here if they want to stay at least 500 or above 500. Bears didn't show up against the Cardinals on the road. They get an easier game this week at home against the Patriots. Bengals dominant win at home. Burrow throws for 5 TDs, none to Jamar. And Zach Moss obviously didn't play in this one. But Chase Brown had a good game as well, and they just traded for Khalil Herbert from the Bears. So it'll be interesting to see how he factors in to the Chase Brown situation. But huge game Thursday Night Football for the Bengals as they travel to Baltimore. Seattle, tough way to lose at home to the Rams. It was a great game. Just Stafford, did Stafford things late in the fourth quarter and in OT, walk-off touchdown. They head into the bye 4-5. I think very happy with where they are because they probably could be 6-3 or they could be really 3-6. So I think a 4-5 record for them at this point, only a game back in the division, is very good. 13 through 16. And the team that's winning that NFC West actually is the Cardinals. They're 5-4, finding ways to win ball games. And this Cardinals team, I think, could be a very good second half team. Another team in the West is the Rams at 14. Like I said, win over Seattle in Seattle and OT, and they get the Dolphins at home to build the momentum. Buck State 15 with their loss in OT against the Chiefs. Change the overtime rules. I'm gonna keep saying it again and again. Start at the 50-yard line, just like college, just move it back an extra 25 yards. And it's the fairest way to determine outcomes of football games, I think, in my opinion. Then you get the Niners bye week. They come back, face the Bucks in Tampa. It's a huge game for both those teams because they could probably be trending in 2 different directions. Let's say the Bucks lose 4-6. They're trending way down. Same with the Niners if they lose that one on the road out of the bye week. But McCaffrey will be back for this one. All signs are pointing to his return. So huge boost for the Niners. 9 through 12. Packers, Texans fall after their losses. Falcons, Chargers move up after their wins. And the biggest one here for me, obviously being a Packers fan, I said it last week. I think I said it in the video. I don't even think Love should play. He's dealing with an injury. It's going to be crappy weather. Exactly what it was. Maybe Love didn't re-injure himself, but he definitely wasn't that same guy that we've seen. They lost the game. Love pick 6 and a free 7 and the field goal that the Packers missed, and that's 10 points right there. And you lost by 10. So the Packers' mistake killed them. But the Lions capitalized and did what they had to do to win that game. Falcons did enough to get by the Cowboys. It really was a 27-13 game until the last 30 seconds where garbage time touchdown. Chargers took care of the Browns on the road, and that defense in the run game is still very good. 5 through 8, you get the Steelers coming out of their bye week, moving up 2 spots. Huge game for both those teams to see what team is really kind of the top team in their conference. Steelers, Commanders this week. Ravens, like I said, get the Bengals on Thursday night. Huge game for both of those teams. If you are the Bengals and you go and beat Baltimore in Baltimore, maybe this Bengals team isn't done yet. But the Ravens, I I'm assuming they're hoping to put those rumors to rest, get to 7-3, put the Bengals kind of out of playoff contention at the end of the day. I mean, what? They're hanging around by a thread, and the Ravens can take care of business, beat the Bengals, just another loss and another blow to their playoff chances. Vikings and Eagles, 6-2, both with wins last week. Vikings have an easier game this week in Jacksonville. Same for the Eagles as well in Dallas. At this point in the season, without Dak, Eagles are heavy favorites. And 1 through 4 does not change at all because all these teams win. Chiefs, only undefeated team left still. Yet again, they do it in OT with a walk-off Kareem Hunt touchdown. Get the Broncos at home. Mahomes has played okay against the Broncos. Nothing too spectacular, but he finds ways to beat the Broncos. Lions, like I said, good win for them in Lambeau. It was a huge game, America's game of the week, primetime TV. And, the rain didn't stop them. There's their first outdoor game. I don't know why people thought they're an indoor team. Whatever. Lions, give them some credit. Coming from a Packers fan, they're a very good football team. And don't be shocked if you see those two teams, Chiefs, Lions, playing a Super Bowl this year. Bills escape against Miami. I still have concerns about Buffalo. I know they're 7-2. I'm just not a big Josh Allen fan when it comes to the playoffs. They're a great team, but he's careless with the ball. And until he figures out how to not be careless in the playoffs, I'm not saying regular season, in the playoffs, I gotta, talk about that Bills team in that way. But they go into Indy this week where I think they could be on upset watch. So make sure you tune in my picks to see who I'm taking. Then the Commanders keep on winning football games. 7-2, just traded for Marshawn Lattimore from New Orleans to bolster their secondary. And they get Pittsburgh this week at home, and it's a huge game for both of those teams. That's going to be it for my Week 10 power rankings. Check back next week to see where your favorite team ranks. But until the next time, the Bench Buddies are out.